Good day to you. I'm Danilo Evangelista, and welcome to our tropical weather outlook for September 11th, 2025. Happy Thursday to you, although to many I know it is definitely not a very happy day for many reasons, but not my job to talk about that specifically. Let's just go over the tropics for today, and there is something new to track in the MDR. And we have a new area of interest and might finally start to get some development here in the Atlantic Basin, as we are now on the peak day of hurricane season. So let's start off with the National Hurricane Center homepage right here in the Eastern Atlantic. We have a 030 area of development, low chance of development over the next 7 days. This will be something that we need to watch this weekend into next week, and maybe we might get some development here in the Atlantic Basin. The European showing some development, some of the models showing some development, although still a little bit iffy, but at least we have an area to track on the peak day and the peak week of the hurricane season. In the Eastern Pacific, on the other hand, there is now a newly formed tropical depression which formed just this afternoon, just off the coast of Mexico. And this was the previous area of interest here that I mentioned a few days ago that we had off the coast of Mexico. Now a tropical depression, 13E, maximum sustained winds at 35 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure of 1,009 millibars, located at 15.5 north and 98.8 west, and it is moving west-northwest at 6 miles per hour. And let's go over that tropical depression this afternoon. Here's a satellite image of it just off the coast of Mexico. Not very organized right now. Probably going to get a little bit more organized, though, over the next several days. And one thing is for sure, that we will definitely see lots of heavy rainfall here along the coast of Mexico, even though we will not see a direct landfall from this system. And I'll show you with the National Hurricane Center cone. Stays off the coast of Mexico, so we will not see a direct landfall. But as I gotta remind you, just because we will not get a direct landfall does not mean that we will not have impacts here along the coast of Mexico, because we will. And this is a forecast from the Weather Prediction Center. Several inches of rainfall expected in southwestern Mexico along the coast, and also right up against the coast. Highest rainfall totals potentially as much as 6 inches, maybe even more locally. And as I've said before, rainfall is the biggest killer when it comes to tropical cyclones. Results in flooding, and especially in this region of the world, Mexico. There's lots of mountainous terrain, so there's a risk of mudslides too, and that definitely causes a lot of death. So do not let your guard down, even as Tropical Depression 13E will move off to the southwest here, away from the Mexican coastline, although it will be close. Maybe we might get some tropical storm watches and warnings here, as we might see some gusty winds. But overall, once again, main threat to keep in mind here is rainfall, probably some rip currents and high surf as well. But overall, looking at this thing off the coast of Mexico. Zooming out now in the Atlantic, and again, still not much to talk about right now, but we are now beginning to watch the Eastern Atlantic here, as we might get development as we head into next week. And you could actually see that there is quite a pretty potent tropical wave moving off the coast of Africa right now. And I think the National Hurricane Center has marked it as the area here that we are watching for development next week. Let's actually go see. Is it that wave? Yes, it is. It's the wave right now. Not that picture. This is it. The wave that you see here just moving off the coast of Africa now. This is what we're going to have to watch to see if we might potentially get development here in the Eastern Atlantic next week. And one thing that I will point to you that is interesting is looking at the mid-level water vapor map, and I like to use this from time to time so you could generally get an idea of how things are atmospherically, not just in terms of wind shear and sea surface temperatures, but how the actual atmosphere thermodynamics are. And obviously, as I mentioned a few days ago, one of the biggest issues is that we had lots of dry air out here in the MDR. and that's really been keeping a cap on things. And definitely, you can see that dry air very prevalent right now throughout the entire Caribbean. And this is what's really been keeping a cap on things this season. But as you look out here towards the Eastern Atlantic, we have quite a moist atmosphere. Definitely not like all of these oranges and reds here that we have in the central and western MDR. So that means the wave that is moving off the coast of Africa right now has quite the moisture content with it. And once again, sea surface temperatures are very, very warm. And they've been that way since the beginning of the season, especially since the beginning of August. And I said that they would not go away. And obviously, for right now, the sea surface temperatures that are warm here still have not gone away. So, as long as they remain, we have lots and lots of fuel for potentially some pretty decent development here, at least till the end of September. And I'm pretty sure we are going to start getting a lot more development here in the Atlantic to take advantage of these very warm sea surface temperatures. And this first wave might be one of them. And you can see here in the MDR, still a little bit of strong shear here in the northwestern MDR, I guess still feeling the effects of the tut that we have here that's, again, still situated in the northern MDR, and in general in the central eastern Atlantic, which has, given its issues with dry air and shear, putting a lid on the season. But if you look out here, especially towards the far eastern Atlantic, we have lower wind shear. So we might have some development, I do believe. And just to cap it all off with the European ensembles, you could definitely see quite a decently strong signature here showing up. Quite a few ensembles showing development, and even a few ensembles showing a pretty decent storm. So at least in terms of an ensemble perspective from the European, which is, one of the most prominent weather models that we like to use, there is a pretty decent signal. So if that's the case, then you definitely have a reason to believe that maybe something might happen. And there are also other models too that show development out here, and we'll go over them probably tomorrow. Just wanted to get a video out today though, and of course, looks like we might have a chance for development to occur in the MDR, and we're definitely going to watch it very closely here over the next several days, especially since it's the peak of the hurricane season. And you definitely know that at this time we need to watch anything that happens in the tropics. But with that being said, I'm going to end it off for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope all of you stay safe, and I hope all of you are able to remain peaceful, because I know times are very, very rough right now, especially for many. And all I'm going to say is we are headed in very dark times, and I hope that is not the case. But my number one anecdote that I can give to you is to pray, if that's what you believe in, of course. I mean, that's what I believe in, so that's what I'm going to be doing. But even if you don't have hope for a brighter future, and just make sure to stay peaceful, make sure to stay safe, enjoy the rest of your evening, and as always, I'll be back with more tomorrow.